far ahead, but I mean, what kind of opportunity is this upcoming swing?
Yeah, I like playing teams that are good teams. I think you get a lot more excited about it. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the challenge. We played well enough, obviously, to win last night in Carolina. They were, against Carolina. Now we go to Carolina, and they're going to elevate their game in their building with their crowd and their emotion and their energy. They don't have anybody else play. They're not playing anybody else in between another team. They're dialed in and focused on us. And I like that. That's exciting for us as a challenge. And we need to be challenged where we're at as an organization, where we're at as players. We need to be challenged, and we need to thrive on that. And so for me, it's really exciting looking at Carolina specifically, and then obviously you go right back into Florida, which we haven't done well against, and I'm glad we play them again.
Don, you've told us numerous times that Dylan wants to be up to his potential yesterday. I mean, he doesn't want to.
Well put. I didn't say it quite that way, but you all that I said, you just summed up.
We summed it up.
Yeah.
How did his teammates and the coaching staff keep him contributing and playing well when he wasn't scoring? Because I'm sure it bugged him, that the puck wasn't going in net for him. But yet he contributed for you.
Yeah.
How did you guys keep him moving forward?
Well, you have to let the players know. I mean, the players need to know how they're measured, how they're evaluated by coaches. So that is a big part of coaching, is informing these guys every day, this is how we evaluate your play. And when a player enters the league, especially players like Dylan, prolific players, where they came from, highly touted players, high first-round picks, and they tend to measure it on production, goals, and assists. And those are really not good measurements at all. We're talking about young players that need to adapt and become full-time, legitimate NHL players that contribute to winning. That's what it's all about. So the measuring things are way different. It can be puck battles, it can be decisions, it can be situational reads. So as you work with players, you are informing them each day post-game how they were measured last night. And not often is it measured by goals. It's all the little details, again, starting with just winning your battles, protecting pucks, making the right decision. This is a decision you could make early in the shift, or a risk you could take early in a shift, but not 35 seconds or 40 seconds into a shift. Your line mates were changing. You realize it's a whole set of different decisions you have to make now because they're on their way off the ice. So, those are the things that players need to progress toward. Dylan is very intent about progressing in those areas. And yeah, it probably has affected his scoring, but those are areas that are foundational elements that are just going to allow him to score more. And I love what he's doing. He's progressing every day. And to further compliment him, he always has that bite. He's always competitive. He does so much more for us than score. He's a leader by virtue of the competitive effort he has. We talk about our team coming back late in games and never saying never dying. And we look sloppy in 1 minute, and then the next segment we all of a sudden rise. And he's the type of personality and player that helps us do that. It drags the other guys into the fight.
Remember in November when you told us, you sat down with him and showed him clips how he could be better at protecting pucks, being hard on pucks. And it seems to me like he listened. I mean, it seemed like, he took that into effect. Because would you agree that he is so much better at that now than he was maybe when we talked about that back in November?
He is. I mean, the goal was evident last night. He had to fight and battle and use his body position just to get a touch on the puck, and that's all he needed was to score, just one little touch. So yes, he's definitely gotten better and better at that, and he's been able to focus on the things, the areas that he can improve on, which will make him a better hockey player. A lot of times the focus on trying to score. A lot of times the focus for these young players and all players is trying to prove they belong, and that's, in their mind, it's trying to score. And the guys that have the focus on, okay, how do I get better, are the ones that are going to stay in this league and progress through this league, and he's on target for that.
Talk about that.
With the road trip coming up, it's a little different. You're facing the East top teams again. How do you want your team to prepare for this road trip and handle it and continue to build consistency after last night's win?
Yeah, I mean, you got to take things one game at a time. You can't really get too far ahead of yourself. I mean, it's a 4-game road trip with 4 Carolina and the 3 divisional teams. Obviously, Florida, Tampa are tough places to play, and then you go to Toronto, another tough place to play. But it's all Carolina right now. It's all we need to be concerned with. And you take each game. We'll take pieces from last night's game and target ways to be better, ways to be more efficient, and embrace challenges at areas that can push us to become a better hockey team. So it really is. Everything's just into the day. I don't, it is a 4-game set, but, one at a time.
You told us that Carolina's, so, I'm sorry, Bill, go ahead.
No.
I've been trying to ask.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
You talk about Dylan's, his focus on those details, but when he goes 5 weeks without a goal, I mean, can you kind of see it on his face, so to speak?
Definitely.
Wearing on him?
Definitely with Dylan and all these guys. I mean, that's a goal is such a reward for these guys for the work they put in. So, as a coach, you definitely want to help them. You want to put guys in positions that they can score and score more. But, you just do what you can to reassure guys through that they're doing the right things. And it is nice when you see them score as a coach, knowing that you're working with them behind the scenes on many other things. It is nice. It's a nice reward for everyone. It gets a lot of people off their back, actually. These guys, it's not easy being a pro athlete. Everybody's telling you what to do, and a lot of times it's score. You got to score. How come you're not scoring? How come you weren't using the shootout? How come this? How come that? And it's they just get bombarded by all this noise, and behind the scenes they just have to streamline and in this case with the young guys, just keep making themselves better, and all of the more scoring will come. So yeah, Dylan's done an amazing job.
I was intrigued when you were talking last night about Carolina with the aerial pucks. They're such a good team. And I always feel that sometimes the NHL is a copycat league. Why don't more teams employ that since it works so well for them?
They just do it more consistently than other teams. Lots of teams do it. You can flip on a game. Florida does it. Toronto does it. They do it frequently. Pittsburgh does it a lot. But Carolina, from my looking at watching film on other teams, they just do it a little bit more consistent than other teams. But everybody is deploying it. It's almost like if you think about next zone, you're in your defensive zone. It's a little bit of a scramble. You don't have a clean play or option. You just think next zone mentality. Get the puck into the neutral zone where we can pressure, and they do that really well. They do that and have done that with a lot of success.